this evening, and we're going to go ahead and get started. Would you please take roll?
Ms. Atkins?
Here.
Mr. Houston?
Here.
Mrs. McDaniel?
Here.
Mrs. Peterson? Mr. Stoffer?
Here.
Mr. Wyledge?
Here.
Mrs. Sheffel?
Here. Can I get a motion to approve the November 6, 2023 agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Vote, please.
Ms. Atkins?
Yes.
Mr. Houston?
Yes.
Mrs. McDaniel?
Yes.
Mr. Stoffer?
Yes.
Mr. Wyledge?
Yes.
Mrs. Sheffel?
Yes. Commendation and good news.
So we have several visitors with us tonight. First up, we have the high school. We have Special Olympics. They're gonna give us some updates. So just kind of come around the mic there a little bit.
I'm Mary Broughton. I'm a special ed teacher at Titan Hill, and I'm the head coach for Special Olympics.
I'm Taylor School, and I'm a high school special education teacher for some of our students.
And Taylor has stepped up and did the Special Olympics for bowling this year.
Awesome. And who are you, Miss?
My dad's right there. So Special Olympics bowling happened in October, and we've got 6 athletes that'll be at state on November 17th at Maplewood Lanes in Omaha. And then Rob Briggs at the high school too has helped with getting more events going in track and field this past year. They did standing long jump and a relay, and Ainsley was part of one of the relays.
Mhm.
First time ever we've done relays, and they got both teams got blue ribbons at state or districts and at state too.
It's awesome.
So very exciting how we're getting more things going.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do you want to share anything? No.
Ainsley, I've never known you to be shy.
My dad's just staring at me.
It's your dad's
Keep
fault.
staring at me still.
Ainsley, what's your favorite part about Special Olympics?
Bowling.
Bowling. Gotcha. And you have basketball coming up, right? Yeah. So what events? We do bowling, we do basketball, we do track and field.
I'm hoping to do bocce ball this year too.
Oh, that'll be fun. Very cool. And how many athletes do we have participating usually at events?
About 25
25
from
athletes. Awesome.
3rd grade up to high school.
Very cool.
And a couple kids that are in VODEC still participate too.
That's awesome. Very cool. What's been your favorite memory so far of participating, Ainsley? When you won that relay and I was there to give you a high five at the end. Does you remember that? That was pretty cool. Oh.
And I want to give
I
a shout.
didn't.
Go ahead, sorry, Nancy.
I didn't know that I saw running so good.
Yeah.
And I want to give a shout out to Josh Allen too, because he's always there getting videos for Facebook.
Ainsley, was that the relay when you lost your shoe when you were running?
Apparently,
You ran so
yes.
fast, you ran right out of your shoes.
But to her credit, she didn't stop running.
She
I
did
didn't,
not.
like, I
No,
didn't
she did
stop.
awesome.
I didn't
Yeah.
like stop. I just.
Yeah,
Kept going.
yeah, she did awesome.
Well, congratulations.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Yes, yes.
Good luck at state.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you guys.
All right, thank you.
All right, next we have Camp Invention.
We brought a couple campers too.
Perfect.
Okay.
Yes, so we are so excited to tell you about Camp Invention, which we did for the first time last summer. I'm Tina O'Donnell. I'm the Talented Gifted teacher for 4th through 7th grade.
I'm Lisa Szynski, and I'm the talented and gifted teacher for kindergarten through 3rd.
And then we have Drew and Madeline that are going to share a little bit too. So last summer we had 44 participants. The theme was Wonder. We already have 5 signed up for this next summer, which I'm super excited about. The theme this year is Illuminate. And the cost is $270. It's a whole week long, but they offer discounts throughout. The biggest one, having already expired, was $50 off, and now it's $35 off until the end of December. Builds problem-solving skills, and it's aligned to next generation science standards as well as state and Common Core standards. Students rotate through 4 STEM modules throughout the day with a break for lunch and games in the middle. Mrs. Zazinski is going to talk about the modules from last year.
In Invention Celebration, the kids became party planners, and they got to work on a different element to their party each day. And on Friday, they got to put it all together and celebrate. In the Mimic Bot station, each student received their very own robot. I think Madeline brought hers to share today. And they learned about the importance of getting a patent for your invention. So they worked on camouflaging their inventions. They worked on setting traps for the copycat who was after their ideas. And at the end of the week, they got to apply for a patent. In Catching Air, the kids designed a mini skateboarding park, and one of the most popular ones that I heard kids talk about was the pop-up venture, where they all came up with their own business plan, created a model of their business, and also learned about licensing and what you need to plan when you open a business. What was your guys' favorites?
My favorite was the pop-up venture because I like having it because it's so creative, and like there's like stuff that costs money, and you get your own credit cards and you can work with other people.
What was your business?
I was a food place where we sold I don't know.
Was it pizza and you get to play bags?
Pizza, and you're gonna play like bags, and there's a bar with like kids drinks, and we had a gift shop.
Yeah.
All right, and Madeline, you want to move over here? Madeline has the shirt on that the kids got for the camp as well. What was your favorite part?
My favorite part was the Mimic Bots because we got to disassemble them and see how they worked, and because it was a fun experience.
Awesome. Yeah, does yours work? Does you want to
Yeah.
try it out? Just set it on the table.
Hi.
Oh my God.
Maybe go closer and louder.
Hi.
All right, well, the curriculum is differentiated. They have primary and kind of intermediate. We had all kids together, but we're thinking maybe if the numbers are right, we might do 2, 3, and 4, 5 separate. Everything is provided from the National Inventors Hall of Fame, from curriculum to games, materials. Even they send the director a $15 credit card that you can buy bread and jelly in case somebody forgets a lunch or their snacks. They think of everything. Teachers are paid a small stipend through the National Inventors Hall of Fame. It kind of depends on how many participants you have. Our goal is 60 students and 4 teachers, which just kind of makes it nice to run through the 4 modules. This last year we had 3 teachers, so each teacher had to teach the 4th module at least once a day. We also have leadership interns, which are college or high school students looking for some volunteer hours, and they get a letter at the end for people who want hours for National Honor Society or whatever. And then students got to take home a bunch of materials at the end. We put some for PBIS prizes, and we've already sent flyers out this year. If you know anyone that's interested, feel free to get a hold of me or any one of us, and we'd be happy to have them join us. We do have a longer video, but we can cut it off at about a minute just to show you a few pictures from the week that we had.
That's the skate park.
it goes on, but we just wanted to show you a few pictures. We're super excited to bring it back this next summer to
What are the dates?
Titan Hill. July 8th through the 12th, and it's from 9 to 3:30.
Would you two like to go back and do it again next year?
Yeah.
She's already signed up. Yeah.
Sounds fun. I'd love to do it if I was your age.
Yeah.
Sounds like a great time.
Awesome. Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Well done.
Anything else?
Yeah, quite a few things I'll touch on.
Okay. Anyone else, commendations and good news? All right, we'll go on then to our next part of the, on the agenda, comments and suggestions. This is the portion of our agenda that anyone in the audience can address the board. And you're fine to leave if you don't want to stay for all the meeting, that's okay. Thank you for coming. Is there anyone online that has anything? Okay. All right, hearing none, we'll go on then to our consent agenda. Can I get a motion to approve?
Second.
Do we have an updated personnel?
Yes, there is an updated personnel, and you also have an additional contract as well.
Yeah, so what the contract is this is just Allers and Cooney. We already have a contract with Allers and Cooney, they're our attorney, but they have a different division, so like they did a lot of the bond, like the language writing for us. Well, they never actually gave us a contract for that. I didn't know that they had to because it's just a different division, so.
Can you scroll down on, is there more below that, or is that, thank you.
Is there a typo in that one? It said 6/23.
And this is struck.
Resignations. June 28th, 2023.
Yeah, it
Oh,
should be
2024.
2024, okay. I just wanted to make sure I didn't miss anything. Okay. Any discussion? Vote, please.
Mr. Houston,
Yes.
Mrs. McDaniel,
Yes.
Mr. Stoffer,
Yes.
Mr. Wildridge,
Yes.
Ms. Adkins,
Yes.
Mrs. Sheffel.
Yes. Reports. 6.01, Superintendent Report.
Okay, well, I have quite a few, I guess that could have gone into good news, but I kept them from my report. So we are going to the Dome. Football's gonna go. This is the 5th out of 6 years that they'll be going to the Dome, so that's pretty exciting. It's pretty awesome to have that sustainable success. So that's gonna be at 4 o'clock on, it's North Scott, right? No, North Polk. That's it. Gonna play North Polk this 4 o'clock this Thursday, and if we win, we will play next Thursday, 7 p.m. at the Dome. We will do 2-hour early dismissal if we end up playing that game. Volleyball, they made it to the semifinals and just got all the way into that 5th set and lost it at the very end. So one of the top 4 teams in state, very proud of them. Cross country got 3rd place. We just had our first vocal concert. Our cheer squad brought home several state trophies. I think one was a 2nd place and the other one was a 6th place maybe. And then we had state swim this weekend, 7 out of 11 events, and the girls qualified. I mean, it's just a ton of success this fall with our extracurricular activities, and it's just a lot of fun. Anna Strohmeyer was also given a national award as a volleyball player, so that's pretty awesome. I'll have in the next board meeting, I'm just trying to see how football ends up, and then I'll have a whole rundown during good news of all of our fall activities. So I just wanted to make sure that we identified them. The other thing that we have is, on my report is our due diligence. Last Monday? Yes, last Monday we met, and we got the initial due diligence report from Shive Hattery on our piece of ground that we have an option to purchase. And, I know that there were some questions and some concerns, about some of the items. I did ask Brent, to come here and just kind of give a brief overview again. And just so the board knows, we did meet with John Jerkovich today, who's given us some good ideas. He's developed a ton of ground around the area, around Council Bluffs, and so I know that he's gonna kind of help us, if the bond passes tomorrow, before we have to make that due diligence decision on the ground on November 22nd. It was extended to the 22nd, that we would be able to have some conversations with the city. Also get some more firm pricing. I'll have Brent kind of give an update on where we're sitting with what he's now expecting after running some more numbers and having more conversations about where we sit with the sewer sanitation. The more likely, when he presented the first time, they were kind of worst case scenarios, and they present worst case scenarios, and then we can talk about what the numbers are more likely going to be. And then I've also had a conversation with Mayor Walsh, and he is of the same mindset as we are. Obviously the development of the area is huge for the city. As soon as the bond vote's over, if it passes, and the city also wants to have those conversations. So I think it'll be, it's beneficial for both parties. So Brent, I'll kind of turn it over. First of all, does anybody have any, or maybe I'll just have Brent kind of give maybe some updated numbers and estimates on what the development of land would be, and then we can kind of go around and anybody can ask clarifying questions.
All right, perfect. Well, thanks for having me tonight, guys. So, as Dr. Hazen kind of alluded to, there's been just a couple things that we've updated since we spoke last Monday, and the primary cost changes really are in kind of conjunction with the public improvements that we talked about. So again, as Dr. Hazen kind of alluded to, what we've told you, what we've presented to you, and really what that report showcases is a worst case scenario. The expectation, after talking to the city, talking to everybody, these costs are not something that we would expect the school district wholly to have to take on. However, in a worst case scenario, we want to make sure the school board's aware of what those costs potentially could be, in case the city doesn't want to or is not able to provide a kind of assistance on those. So the big change, I believe, and this is probably where some of the discrepancy was last time, was the sanitary. So we talked to a variety of individuals, A, internally to Shive Hattery, and B, externally, trying to get a good grip on what that is to cross Mosquito Creek. So we kind of talked last week. It's a couple pump structures. So basically what that means is we're forcing the water, the sanitary sewer, underneath and across Mosquito Creek. And then prior to getting to Mosquito Creek, we're going to have some level of actually just getting it to those structures. So we're making an assumption on a couple pump structures as well as a certain stretch of pipe. And there is what we call a siphon structure. It sounds fancy. It's really basically just the means and methods to get it underneath the water and underneath the creek bed. So those numbers, we've seen some projects similar, maybe a little less pipe running in the couple $100,000. So knowing that we need to get it further, we're actually coming in around the $500,000 to $750,000 for that totality of the project. And those numbers obviously would be something where the city, as a public improvement, the city is going to be required to either bring on a design firm, or a design firm could handle that piece to really design the full exactly details of it. But based on historical knowledge and based on projects of similar kind of size, that would be the expectation. Now, that being said, that is a small run that we're expecting. And I'm not including the sanitary to be run all the way east on East South Omaha Bridge, and then all the way down 192nd. Those are developments that the city, if in their best judgment, may or may not make, either with this project or at a future time. But we don't feel like there's any need for this project to even consider anything past really the property, because the only thing that we really are concerned about would be an initial service from a potential elementary school or a potential facility kind of on that northwest parcel. So, big one. Any questions on that before we go to anything else?
Is there a possibility that in further development that would be considered an SID?
So, I do not believe, we talked a little bit with John this afternoon about that the state of Iowa really has that type of district on the other side of the river, Omaha, Nebraska, they do those sanitary districts a little more, it's a little more prevalent over there. The way that kind of development is classically handled, and I apologize, let me take a step back. It's a great question, Daryl. SID is a sanitary district, basically, so you have stormwater districts where maybe there's a larger district who everybody within there pays a certain amount of tax, or there a variety of other things to kind of help the overall improvements. Sanitary is not classically handled like that in the state of Iowa, and I'm not really seeing that development kind of procured that way. The way we've classically seen it is a little less thought out, for lack of a better term. It's really if somebody's developing at that time, that's when they really have a conversation with the developer or the people developing that area for any infrastructure needs. Unless the city sees a significant tax benefit at that exact moment, and it's kind of in the overall comp plan, which as it stands right now, this particular area, any sanitary improvements would be further south, maybe a couple miles. So, great question.
And then, of course, we know, so the other two big pieces that are on there were whatever the city would require us for site development, like if we were to have to go in and fix or maintain or do any kind of road stuff. After talking with John said he would be shocked if the city would have us do any sort of major construction on any roads down there. If anything, the road from about CFI down to the end has been just not really maintained because it's not a through road anymore. So
Correct, yeah, there's no public need for it.
So they may require us to do an overlay of that road or something like that. So it's, that would be kind of the conversation that we would have to do. So the number that he originally had on there was kind of to reconstruct that entire road. That would not, it would be a fraction of that most likely.
Yeah, so that number specifically, just to kind of bring everybody a memory on it, was 2.25 to 2 3/4 is what it was. Obviously a fairly significant number, but again, as Dr. Hazing kind of alluded to here, really that's a full reconstruction with some storm sewer and basically what you would expect an urban road to be developed as in this area for almost the entirety of East South Omaha Bridge. We included that cost originally as FYI. The reality is that's not something that's probably likely to be exactly required. Unfortunately, the city wasn't interested in having a conversation about exactly what that development is. So we wanted to raise that alarm a little bit just to make you aware. And again, similar to the sanitary district discussion, when somebody is developing, that's the time for the city to have a conversation about, hey, we also have some public infrastructure. In that situation, it was sanitary. In this one, it's a public road, right? But again, East South Omaha Bridge does not feed a significant amount of individuals. The intent for the development of the elementary school would be to have queuing really safely and securely and, quite frankly, effectively placed on the property. So there's really not a need for a significant amount of backup or usage on that road other than just to get in and get out.
What did the city say about on the sewer side, about the maintenance of it and
We haven't had that yet.
okay.
Yeah, we're
Sorry.
gonna wait until after the result of the bond tomorrow.
Okay, so you've just gone and revised the numbers. You haven't talked to the city about.
Just high level,
okay.
nothing on.
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah, and I think,
misheard you. That's fine.
yeah, we're hoping for that
Okay.
next step is what I think that we'll really be able to develop. But my expectation fully would be they would maintain.
Yeah. I just knew that when we left the meeting on Monday, there was some conversation about could this be $3 million, could it be? And so I had them focus on getting actual, what they would anticipate us spending.
Totally
So-
fine. I thought you said that the city participated in that. I'm fine.
Oh, gotcha.
That's fine.
And then the last one's dirt work. Dirt work's always gonna be an issue,
Yes.
whether you're taking it away on a hill or adding it in a floodplain, so.
Yep. Yeah, and there was a conversation in our previous meeting about the quantity. So that quantity is, we're still coming in around the 150 total range, 150,000 cubic yards total range. And the expectation, so basically what happens is you would build a building pad right away, and we'll assume for now it's 4 feet. You then place 4 foot of fill on top of it, and then once that decompresses and really settles itself, you would flip that over and repurpose it in other parts of the site, under pavement, under berms, landscaping, playgrounds, etc. And the other portions of the site are really at less of a risk, and usually we don't have a surcharge need across the rest of the site from a parking and paving standpoint. Really where that surcharge is critical, kind of adding it and doubling it, making it force the settlement early, is really just where the building pad is because of the heavy loads and how heavy kind of the various foundations can be, so.
Any other big questions, concerns? obviously tomorrow will tell us a lot, so.
I do have two
Yep,
updates. There was one question about the size of the sanitary main west of Mosquito Creek. And I did confirm with Public Works that is a 48-inch main. So that is going to be about as significant of a sanitary main as you're going to see pretty much anywhere in the state of Iowa. So load is not an issue, and I would expect that the city, again, has had long-term plans with this line. It's just maybe in a little less accessible location. So size, not an issue. And I believe actually that was only one of them. That was the one.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
All right. Well, thank you.
Thanks everyone for your time.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. All right. And that's it. That's all I have.
Okay, I want to add one more thing I had
Oh, yes.
talked to you about. We have not, the board needs to do a self-evaluation again. And so I will be getting that set up and letting you guys know, so then we can discuss it at our next board meeting. So it would be 2 weeks. And I'll get that out this week, and so fill it out, and then we'll just have it on the agenda for the second meeting in November. So we can have that done to look at how we see we're doing. So I just wanted to mention that. Okay, then we'll go on now to discussion item 7.01, custodial wage increase.
So, just like I did last year, so essentially what I do every year is I look up, I look up a comparisons, like employee comparisons. Where do each one of our employee groups sit in relation to, like neighboring districts, or kind of the market average I'm finding in Green Hills, and then I kind of have them ranked. Last year, our paraeducators were significantly below where the market comparison was, both in pay and in benefits, and so we did a mid-year adjustment beginning of the year, and then we did our market adjustment beginning of the year, and then at the end of the year we added benefits. Right now we're probably at least 8 to 10 custodians short across the district, and one of the issues we're having is because comparatively we're so low. Like, we start at $12.50 or $13 an hour. That's right now, that's not even getting them through the door. They'll call, they'll inquire, we tell them it's $12.50 or $13, and they just don't show up. And so what I'd like to do is I'd like to get more in line with where other districts are in the area. They're in that $15 to $17 starting range. Obviously that's a big lift, so I had Andrea run the numbers. If we were to increase everybody and have our base at 15 and then do a kind of a scale at that point, so instead of giving everybody a $2 raise, it would be, we're gonna reset the scale. So if everybody's gonna start at 15, and then for every year of service you've been here, it's a 20-cent increase. And so, and that just makes sure that those who have longevity are rewarded for the longevity. I think it gives everybody a minimum of a 50-cent increase, but it does get our base to that $15 level. It's an increase of about $46,000 a year. As far as for a wage increase on our current employees, that's something we can sustain. One is because we're 8 employees short, and so 46,000 is essentially one of those 8 positions. If we do happen to fill all of them, our enrollment is up this year, which brings in a little over $900,000 more to our district next year, and so we can essentially spend a little bit of that up front, but we're not really, because we're so short right now that we actually budget for 8 more, and we're way under that. So we would love to have the issue where we're fully staffed, and but we're to the point right now where, like this office here now, we went from having it cleaned every night of the week. I think we're down to like 1 night a week. We're taking out our own trash, wiping out our own stuff. Same things, our teachers are starting to be required to put their own trash by the door, wipe down their own tables. Like, not saying that that's anything that's abnormal, what other districts are facing, but we're so short-staffed, and we're spending so much in overtime that if we were to increase the wages, I'm not sure that we would even see that much of a difference. So, so recommendation. Now, we do have some other areas, some other employee groups that are still low in comparatively from where they are in other districts, but not like our custodians. So, because I'm pretty fiscally conservative. I would recommend that we just focus, just like we did last year, on one employee group at the time, make sure that we're moving in the right direction, but then making sure that we can sustain it long-term. You know, you raise too much right away, and now we're in bad financial trouble. So this really wouldn't be a blip on our radar. So, but it is significant for one employee group.
Any discussion? Okay. We'll go on to our 7.02 Green Hills AEA Board election.
So we have to have you guys vote on somebody for the Green Hills AEA Board. There's only one person running this year. So, I mean, it'll be a difficult decision for you guys. But Christine Bloom, she's served on Green Hills AEA Board since December of 2019. So you would just have to officially make a motion or put a write-in candidate for that position. So.
Does anyone have any else they would like to write in? Okay. Then we'll go to 7.03, open enrollment requests. Per Iowa code, we are allowed to go into closed session with, for that discussion. Can I get a motion to go into closed session?
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? Vote, please.
Mrs. McDaniel?
Yes.
Mr. Stoffer?
Yes.
Mr. Wyledge?
Yes.
Ms. Atkins?
Yes.
Mr. Houston?
Yes.
Mrs. Sheffield?
Yes. So we'll ask those in the audience to step out. And everyone back after closed session. So this is the second time during our agenda that anyone in the audience or anyone online, if they'd like to type something in, can address the board. Okay, hearing none, we'll go to our action items. 9.01, custodial wage increase. Can I get a motion?
Madam President,
Mr. Houston.
I'd like to recommend a motion to approve the mid-year custodial increases starting November 6th, 2023 as presented.
Second.
And we have a second. Any discussion? Vote, please.
Mr. Stuffer?
Yes.
Mr. Wyledge?
Yes.
Mr. Houston?
Yes.
Mrs. McDaniel?
Yes.
Mrs. Sheffel?
Yes. 9.02, Green Hills AEA election.
Madam President,
Mr. Houston.
I'd like to make a motion to cast a vote for Christine Bloom as Director of District Number 7 for the Green Hills Area Education Agency Board of Directors.
Second.
Any discussion? Vote, please.
Mr. Wyledge?
Yes.
Mr. Houston?
Yes.
Mrs. McDaniel?
Yes.
Mr. Stoffer?
Yes.
Mrs. Sheffel?
Yes. 9.03, open enrollment requests for student A.
For student A, Madam President,
Mr. Stoffer.
I'd like to make a motion to deny student A due to IEP.
Second.
Any discussion? Vote, please.
Mr. Houston?
Yes.
Mrs. McDaniel?
Yes.
Mr. Stoffer?
Yes.
Mr. Wyledge?
Yes.
Mrs. Sheffel?
Yes. And now for open enrollment request for student B.
Madam President,
Mr. Stoffer.
I'd like to make a motion to deny student B due to space in 8th grade.
Second.
We have a second. Any discussion? Vote, please.
Mrs. McDaniel?
Yes.
Mr. Stoffer?
Yes.
Mr. Wyledge?
Yes.
Mr. Houston?
Yes.
Mrs. Sheffel?
Yes. Items of interest, future board meetings. Our next regular board meeting will be November 20th. And with that, I'll get the information for the self-evaluation so we can discuss it that night. And then bond vote, reminder, is tomorrow, November 7th. And then the IASB State Conference is November 15th through the 16th. And I think people have told you if they can go or not, correct? They've
Yeah,
already
we're just
told
kind of
you.
waiting to see how the bond vote comes out. So,
Okay,
yeah, or not the bond vote, the board vote.
right. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And because if anyone knew, they can also
Yeah,
go.
they can also go, yeah.
Right. Okay. Anything else? All right, then can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? You can stay. Thanks.